Clint Eastwood, The Complete Biography, Early Life and Background. Clinton Eastwood Jr. was born on May 31, 1930 in San Francisco, California, to Clinton Eastwood Sr., a bond salesman and manufacturing executive, and Ruth Wood, a housewife who later worked for IBM. He reportedly weighed 11 pounds 6 ounces at birth and was nicknamed Samson by hospital staff. He grew up mainly in the Piedmont and Oakland areas of California. Eastwood struggled in school and was known more for mischief and pranks than for academic success. He eventually attended Oakland Technical High School and finished his secondary education around 1949. Before entering show business, he worked a wide range of jobs, including paper carrier, lifeguard, grocery clerk, forest firefighter, golf caddy, lumber and logging-related work, sometimes referred to as log bronc work. These early experiences helped shape his self-reliant image and his later affinity for rugged characters, military service, and early career. In 1951, during the Korean War era, Eastwood was drafted into the United States Army. He was stationed at Fort Ord in California, where he served primarily as a swimming instructor and lifeguard, rather than being deployed to combat overseas. After his discharge in 1953, he moved to the Los Angeles area and began to pursue acting. He took drama classes while working odd jobs, such as digging swimming pools and driving a garbage truck. His earliest screen appearances were small, often uncredited roles in low-budget films during the mid-1950s. Among them were Revenge of the Creature, 1955, Tarantula, 1955, Francis in the Navy, 1955. At this stage, he was far from a star, but he gradually gained experience in front of the camera and began to build industry connections, breakthrough years, Rawhide and spaghetti westerns. Eastwood's breakthrough came when he was cast as Rowdy Yates in the television western series Rawhide, which premiered in 1959 and ran into the mid-1960s. The show was a success and made him familiar to American television audiences. It also cemented his association with the Western genre. In the mid-1960s, he traveled to Europe for a new type of Western film, being made in Italy and Spain, commonly called spaghetti westerns. Working with director Sergio Leone, he starred in what became known as the Dollars Trilogy, A Fistful of Dollars, 1964, For a Few Dollars, More, 1965, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, 1966. His character, often referred to as the man with no name, was laconic, morally ambiguous, and visually striking. Poncho hat cigarillo. This persona became iconic and made Eastwood an international star. It also helped redefine the Western hero as grittier and more cynical than the traditional American cowboy of earlier decades. Transition to major film star and director. By the late 1960s and early 1970s, Eastwood was well established as a leading man in Hollywood westerns, war films, and action thrillers. Notable acting roles from this period include Hang 'Em High, 1968, Where Eagles Dare, 1968, Kelly's Heroes, 1970. He also founded his own production company, Malpazzo Productions, in 1967, giving him greater creative and financial control over his projects. Malpazzo became the banner under which most of his American films were produced. Directorial debut and Dirty Harry. In 1971, Eastwood directed his first feature film, Play Misty for Me, a psychological thriller in which he also starred. This marked the beginning of one of the most significant second careers in film history as he gradually evolved from star actor to major director. Also, in 1971, he took on what became one of his defining roles, Inspector Harry Callahan in Dirty Harry. The tough, no-nonsense San Francisco cop who operates on the edge of the law became a symbol of a more hardline approach to crime and policing. The character appeared in multiple sequels over the years and influenced countless later action heroes. Throughout the 1970s and 1980s, he continued to alternate between westerns, action films, comedies, and more character-driven dramas. Notable titles from this broader period include The Outlaw, Josie Wales, 1976, in which he both starred and directed, Every Which Way, But Loose, 1978, and its sequel, a surprise hit, pairing him with an orangutan and showcasing his lighter side, Escape from Alcatraz, 1979. Sudden Impact, 1983, one of the Dirty Harry sequels, Pale Rider, 1985, Heartbreak Ridge, 1986, Critical Acclaim, Unforgiven and Beyond. Though already famous and commercially successful, Eastwood reached a new level of critical respect with Unforgiven, released in 1992. He directed and starred in this revisionist Western, which examined violence, guilt, and aging. The film received major awards and was widely interpreted as a meditation on the Western genre and on Eastwood's own screen image. Unforgiven won the Academy Award for Best Picture and earned him the Academy Award for Best Director. It also confirmed his status as a serious filmmaker rather than merely a movie star who occasionally directed. He continued to appear in and direct notable films through the 1990s, including In the Line of Fire, 1993, as an aging Secret Service agent, A Perfect World, 1993 director and supporting role, The Bridges of Madison County, 1995, a romantic drama opposite Meryl Streep. In the 2000s, he reached another creative peak as a director. With Million Dollar Baby 2004, he again won the Academy Awards for Best Picture and Best Director. The film told the story of an aging boxing trainer and a determined young female boxer, and featured Eastwood in a powerful leading role, well into his 70s. He also directed acclaimed dramas such as Mystic River, 2003, Flags of Our Fathers, 2006, Letters from Iwo Jima, 2006. Letters from Iwo Jima in particular stood out for presenting World War II from the Japanese perspective and received major award nominations. Later, work and continued activity. Remarkably, Eastwood remained active into his 80s and 90s, both behind and in front of the camera. Some prominent later projects include Gran Torino 2008, which he directed and starred in, playing a Korean War veteran, confronting change and prejudice in his neighborhood Invictus, 2009, a drama about Nelson Mandela, and the 1995 Rugby World Cup American Sniper, 2014, a biographical war drama, Sully 2016, about pilot Chesley Sullenberger, the 1517 to Paris 2018, focusing on a thwarted terrorist attack, The Mule 2018, in which he returned to acting as an elderly drug courier, Richard Jewell 2019, dramatizing the story of a security guard initially hailed as a hero and then treated as a suspect. Cry Macho 2021, a modern Western-themed drama in which he again starred and directed political career and public life. Outside of film, Eastwood briefly entered formal politics. He served as the mayor of Carmel by the Sea, California from 1986 to 1988. Running as a nonpartisan candidate, he advocated for more flexible local regulations, particularly to support small businesses and community development. His tenure was short but highly publicized, and it reinforced his public image as independent-minded. Over the years, he has expressed a mix of libertarian and conservative-leaning views, sometimes supporting Republican candidates, and sometimes taking positions that cut across party lines. He has often emphasized individualism, limited government and personal responsibility, personal life relationships, and family. Eastwood's personal life has been complex and frequently scrutinized. He has had multiple long-term relationships, marriages, and children with several partners. His first marriage was to Maggie Johnson in 1953. They had 2 acknowledged children, Kyle and Allison, before divorcing in the 1980s. He later married television journalist Dina Ruiz in 1996. They had a daughter, Morgan. The couple separated and their marriage ended in the 2010s. In addition to his marriages, Eastwood had notable long-term relationships, including with actress Sandra Locke from the mid-1970s into the late 1980s, and with actress Frances Fisher in the early 1990s, with whom he had a daughter, Francesca. He is known to have several other children, including Laurie Kimber Scott and Catherine, associated with different relationships across his adult life. Altogether, he is widely reported to have at least 8 children with multiple women. In later years, he has been linked with Christina Sandera, a restaurant hostess who became his companion for many years until her reported death in 2024 awards, honors, and recognition. Across his long career, Eastwood has received numerous honors from film institutions, festivals, and industry organizations. Among the most prominent are multiple Academy Awards, including 2 for Best Director and 2 for Best Picture for Unforgiven and Million Dollar Baby, several Golden Globe Awards for acting, directing, and lifetime achievement, César Awards from the French film industry, the AFI Life Achievement Award, granted by the American Film Institute in the mid-1990s, the Irving G. Thalberg Memorial Award, recognizing his work as a producer, the Kennedy Center Honors, acknowledging his contribution to American culture through performing arts, the Screen Actors Guild Life Achievement Award in the early 2000s. These honors reflect not only his longevity, but also the high regard in which his body of work is held internationally, music, and other interests. Beyond film, Eastwood has a deep passion for music, particularly jazz and blues. He is an accomplished pianist and has composed or contributed to the musical scores of several of his films. He has also released or participated in jazz recordings and has long been associated with jazz clubs and festivals. He often uses spare lyrical piano-based themes in his movies, helping to define their tone. He is also known for his love of golf and has invested in and supported golf courses and tournaments. His public image mixes rugged outdoorsmanship with artistic and musical interests, cultural impact, and legacy. Clint Eastwood stands as one of the most significant figures in modern cinema, both as the silent, steely gunman of the spaghetti westerns and as the introspective, morally questioning director of later decades. He has shaped how audiences think about masculinity, violence, justice, and redemption on screen. Key elements of his legacy include his transformation of the Western hero into a more ambiguous, morally complex figure, his creation of enduring characters such as the Man with No Name and Dirty Harry Callahan, his successful shift from box office star to respected director and producer over several decades, his willingness to tackle difficult themes such as war, guilt, aging racism, and moral responsibility in films like Unforgiven, Mystic River, Million Dollar Baby, and Gran Torino. His extraordinary career longevity, continuing to direct and sometimes act well into his 90s. From television cowboy to global icon, Eastwood's life and work trace a unique path through post-war American culture. His films continue to be studied and revisited by audiences, critics, and filmmakers worldwide, and his influence on both acting and directing remains profound.